Hi guys, glad you're here to join me for the book of Esther. So today we are on our third part of the 5-part series, and today we're going to talk about Esther chapter 4. So before we start anything, we always do our highs and our lows, and it's fairly early, so I'm going to do my highs and lows from yesterday, actually. Yesterday was a beautiful day. The whole day was a high. It was gorgeous outside. I got to get some fresh pico de gallo, spend time with people who are here in the house. It was a great day. The low for yesterday was talking to some people who, and just concerned for individuals who are unemployed or underemployed, who are not getting a paycheck right now, and it makes it very difficult. And the uncertainty, of course, of not knowing when all of this will end is difficult for people too. So my prayers go out to all of you. So let's get started on Esther chapter 4. This is just me with an interpretation out of the NRSV Bible. I didn't pick any kids' Bibles because they were missing some details that I thought were pretty important to the story. So where we left off last time, we had already gone through chapters 1, 2, and 3. And we started out with Esther, who was adopted by Mordecai. Esther was then taken to a palace and chosen to be queen. Mordecai and Esther were both Jewish, but they did not tell anybody this, nor did they tell anybody that they were related in any way. They were actually cousins, but he adopted her and loved her like a daughter. The king is the other person we've talked about, a very, very powerful man, a lot of money, a lot of power. And then Haman. Haman is the other person who we've talked about. The king trusted Haman implicitly, gave him his signet ring, and let Haman write laws. And one of the laws that Haman wrote was he was angry that Mordecai had not bowed down to him. So he wrote a law saying all Jewish people needed to be destroyed, killed, and annihilated. All Jews, young and old, women and children, in one day, the 13th day of the 12th month. So we left off with Mordecai and Esther in danger because this law had just been written saying that everybody who is Jewish would be annihilated, killed, or destroyed. And once a law was written and the king's signet ring was on that law, it could never be reversed. So let's keep going. So once this command was written and sent to all the different provinces of all the land, Mordecai saw this written decree that said all Jewish people will be annihilated, destroyed, or killed. And he was very upset. And there was weeping and lamenting and crying throughout all of the lands from all of the Jewish people. And Mordecai was outside of the palace, and he ripped off all of his clothes and put on ashes and a sackcloth, which was a way to show mourning and lament that you were very, very upset. And one of Esther's servants came to her and said, Mordecai, because she got to talk to Mordecai sometimes, or they sent messages back and forth, and they knew that she knew him. He said, Mordecai is out in sackcloth and ashes, wailing and crying and lamenting. And so she sent clothes out to him, and he refused the clothes. He stayed there in his sackcloth and ashes. So she sent another servant out to ask, why are you in lament? And Mordecai explained to her all the things that had happened and even gave her the written law. Now, once he had done that, he then said, go to the king and tell him to stop this. Talk to him about this. And Esther replied, all the king's servants and all the people of the king's provinces know that if any man or woman goes to the king inside the inner court without being called, there is but one law. All alike are to be put to death. Only if the king holds out the golden scepter to someone may that person live. Well, it's pretty dangerous for the queen just to go walking up to the king, obviously. She could be killed because she hasn't been invited. Excuse me. And in the Bible, it said that it had been 30 days since she had been invited into the inner court. Mordecai answered her. He said, "For if you keep silence at such a time as this, relief and deliverance will rise for the Jews from another quarter. But you and your father's family will perish. Who knows? Perhaps you've come to royal dignity for such a time as this." Saying, maybe this is why God put you in the palace. Maybe this is why you are there, is so that you can deliver our people. Because our people will live no matter what. Because, of course, this king doesn't own all of the land where all of the Jewish people live in the whole world. But there would have been a lot of Jewish people killed if this had continued. So he then says, "Go gather all of the Jews." Then Esther replies to Mordecai, "Go, gather all of the Jews to be found in Susa. Hold a fast on my behalf," meaning don't eat. "Neither drink nor eat for 3 days, a night or a day. And my maids and I will also fast as you do. After that, I will go to the king, although it is against the law. And if I perish, I perish." Mordecai then went away and did everything that Esther asked of him. So Esther decided, I cannot possibly sit here in the safety of the palace with my secret religion and not do anything to help the people who are my kin, my family, people of my faith. And she said, well, I'll go to the king. If I die, I die. But let's get ready. So everybody you know, go pray, fast and pray. Spend days on end, just pray. And she said, I'll do the same thing, and all of my maids, all of my servants will do the same thing too. We will all sit and pray. So it sounds to me like she put it all in God's hands. She said, I think you're right. I think I'm here for this purpose. I'm going to give it all to God and just spend all my time praying to him. That's a pretty powerful thing, I think. I think it's pretty cool, too. So should we go through our craft for the day? Since Esther focused so much on prayer and how important prayer was, I thought we could do something with prayer today, too. Oh, my book almost fell. So here I have a tin, and in this tin, I put hearts. And I made them all the same. And you could do hearts or circles or squares or whatever you wanted. But I made them all the same so that you can't tell what's in each one. And I put the name of every single person in my house, including my dogs. So I've got Toby and Jesse and Anthony and Poco, my other dog, and Ash, Ryan, my husband, Elise, Casey, and Lee, me. And what we are going to do with these is everybody will get to pick names, and that person is the person they will pray for. And of course, because they're folded, you cannot tell whose name you're going to pick. Now, I could make this even larger. I could extend this to my extended family because all of the Jewish people all through were praying. So you could extend it to everybody in your church, all of your cousins, uncles, grandpas, cousins, etc. You could make a big jar full of people to pray for. And every night, pick a name and pray for them. Or you can keep it small, just the people in your house. However you would like to do it. So let's end with prayers and blessings. Dear God, I pray that all of the people listed in here are healthy and happy and have a wonderful day. And I pray that all of the people who are watching are healthy and happy and have a wonderful day. And I pray that you give anybody who is struggling peace and comfort and love and heal those who are sick. Amen. Blessings to you. Kids bless your parents. Parents bless your kids. I'll talk to you later.